So what we're going to do is we're going to go through your 7.4 and basically make a list of the combinations you guys found that work. And those combinations are now shortcuts, like I said. So if you see two congruent triangles with any of these combinations of things labeled, you can basically say they're congruent because they're part of this list. And we've already proven that these things work with translations and rotations and reflections. So we know they're true because they're backed by definitions. Shortcuts. We like shortcuts. The first one was the one we did together, and that was the, if you're going around the shape, angle, side, angle combination. Since we did that one together on Friday, we already said, yeah, that one works. So that would be one to put on our list. So I'm going to put a little sketch. So if I have two triangles and I have an angle and then a side and then an angle. So if I'm tracing around the shape and I do angle, side, angle, basically it means the side is between the two angles, right? So angle, side, angle, or ASA for short. So you can use ASA. So if I gave you two triangles labeled like this and I said, are they congruent? How do you know? You could say yes, and your how you know is their angle, side, angle, and we've proven that angle, side, angle works. So you could just say ASA as your argument, since we know that ASA is a workable combination now. Okay. You had some other ones. So that was the one we did together. You had some other ones that you guys tried on your 7.4, and I want to run through them really quick so we can make sure that we agree if they work or not, and if they work, we can add them to our list. So this one, first of all, if I trace around the shape, this isn't angle, side, angle. What's the first thing I'm going to get to? A side, and then, so instead of ASA, what would this be? Yeah, SAS, side, angle, side. Were you able to get a combination that matched this onto itself? Okay. So that means, yes, there is a combination of translations and rotations and reflections that works. So that means we could also use side, angle, side as an argument for things are congruent because it's now backed by our definitions since you got it to work. So we can add that one to our list. So that one would look a little different. That one would be a side with an angle in between and another side, right? So it would look like that, side, angle, side. All right. We had a few more on our list. What's the criteria for this one? If I trace around, what things are labeled? Yeah, angle. Yeah, angle, 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 right? Were these congruent? No. No. What happened when you tried to get this to match up with your patty paper?
One was too big.
One is too big. Oh, well, let's think about that for a minute. So you're telling me the angles are the same, but the shapes are different sizes because one's too big. They're not congruent, but that does fit another math definition. They're similar. Oh. So angle, angle, angle won't make congruent shapes, but it will make a similar shape. So we don't want to put it on our congruent list because it's not congruent, but maybe when we're done with that list, we can make a little note that angle, angle, angle does make a similar shape. Okay. How about if I come down here? If I trace around this one, first I'm going to get to a, and then a, and then a. Okay, so side, side, angle. Does that work? No. If you think about it, it makes sense because I'm going to show you. I don't know what this angle is. This side is kind of a dangling side. It could swing around any which way, right? So that potentially could make a bunch of different triangles with that third side. You've got kind of a dangling side there. So that's not always going to make a congruent triangle. So we probably don't want to put that in our list either, right? We are going to make a note about that in just a minute, though. There's a good reminder to help you remember that that one doesn't work. There was one more on your list. How about this one? If I go around first, I'm going to get a, and then, side, side, side. Did that one work? Yeah. In fact, you guys used this to construct your triangle on your warm-up, right? Almost all of you guys were copying the 3 sides of the triangle when I asked you to construct a congruent triangle. So these things that we're making a list of, you can also use to construct congruent shapes. So if I make a copy an angle and a side and an angle, I can use that in constructions too. Or in your guys' case, your warm-up, you guys copied all 3 sides. So if I have all 3 sides the same, that will make a congruent triangle. Side, side, side. We're going to come back to our SSA and our AAA in just a minute and make a note about that. But there's one last part to the problem that I want to think about together, because there's actually some other things that we can do with this list.